women's 400 meters. And Allison Felix is in this, one of the greatest sprinters of all time. You think of her in the 200, but pretty adept at winning in 400s too.
Yep, trying to make her 7th straight world championship team. She has the option, if she qualifies here, to run the 2 or the 4 in Beijing, but she cannot do both because of the schedule.
In lane 1 will be Jessica Beard.
And she's been on the U.S. relay team at the last 2 world championships in the 4x4. She has gold and silver in those last 2 relays.
Lane 2 is Quinera Hayes.
There are not a lot of Division II athletes making finals here, but here's one from Livingstone College in North Carolina. Just won her 3rd NCAA Division II title in the 400.
Former U.S. champion Natasha Hastings is in lane 3.
And she ran a seasonal best 50.28 in her semifinal. She was 4th in New York a couple weeks ago. The indoor and outdoor champion back in 07 for South Carolina.
Defending champion Francina McCrory in lane 4.
And I think she's the person to beat. She has the fastest 2 times in the world. And she's one of only 2 women to have gone under 50 seconds flat in 2015.
In lane 5 is Allison Felix.
She was 1 lean away from being world champion back in 2011. But Coach Bobby Kersey says he will decide which event she runs at the World Championships. I think it's going to be the 400, Tom. She's already 3-time world champion in the 200.
Lane 6 is Phyllis Francis.
She'll get a nice ovation here. The former Oregon Duck. She has the American indoor record, and she was 4th at last year's U.S. Championships.
And you did hear the big ovation and the O for Oregon. Lane 7, Kendall Meisden.
And on this track last year, she won the World Junior Championship. She was the runner-up at this year's NCAA's. We're at 50.50 in her heat. If she improves on that, she becomes a threat to make that team.
And the outside lane, lane 8, is Shakima Wembley.
She ran 50.84 to win the ACC title this year for Miami and was 5th 2 weeks ago here at the NCAA Championships.
And that's your field for the Nike Women's 400 meters. And it should be quite a battle between the top 2. On the left, Francina McCrory, and on the right, Allison Felix.
And the last time Allison Felix was on this track, she held off Sonia Richards-Ross. I expect a similar move from McCrory on the left, right at 200 meters. Don't think that Allison Felix will not expect it. I imagine that her coach, Bobby Kersey, told her, make sure you have the lead at 300 completed in this race with 100 to go. So we'll see at the home straightaway who has stuck to their game plan the best between McCrory and Felix. Those figure to be your leaders at 300 meters.
And there's the gun in the 400 meters, and jumping out of the blocks was Allison Felix.
And McCrory very slow off the pace. Look at Hastings, who has gone right by her. But we know Hastings goes out well. She has her sights now on Allison Felix. Remember, Felix with faster 200-meter speed has exerted the least energy when she gets to this halfway point. It's Hastings now on the inside that actually has the lead. Now look at the move by McCrory.
So Hastings in front, McCrory is there, and Felix as they come to the home straightaway. Here's the home straight, Natasha Hastings in front. Francina McCrory is second, Allison Felix is third. They're coming for the finish, and Hastings is going to hold on. Here comes Felix. It will be Felix got there first.
Wow, you talk about drama. Not only does Allison Felix run down Natasha Hastings, but Francina McCrory does not make the team. She has the fastest 2 times in the world. She's 4th. Phyllis Francis came up for 3rd. And the world leader, and the young lady who's made the last 2 championship teams, including the Olympic final for the United States, Francina McCrory, left to hope for relay duty as she finishes 4th with a fall across the line. Well, this race didn't go according to script, apart from the fact that Francina McCrory always does, right at 200. But you have to think if maybe the rounds in this heat have taken a lot more out of her than you would expect. Look at Natasha Hastings going to her arms with the lead. And Allison Felix mounts a furious close to run her down. She would just catch her on the line. But the shock here is Francina McCrory, dead center of your picture, run out of the third spot by Phyllis Francis, and she will not be in the individual 400 in Beijing.
What a finish by Allison Felix. Here are the final strides and a furious close. Allison Felix got there in front of Hastings.
And that's a big return to form for Hastings. The last time she ran this well was during her college career at South Carolina in 2007. But she too is headed to Beijing in the individual 400.
Well, once again, we see the grit of Allison Felix as Francina McCrory, with this heat, being tended to with cold towels as she lies on the track. So no Sonia Richards-Ross, who didn't even make the final here, and now no McCrory, as Allison Felix with that rush wins at 50.19. And here's Lewis.
Well, Allison, what was your strategy as this race began with McCrory on your inside?
I just wanted to not let them get too far away from me, and I knew I could be Sean coming home.
Speaking of that, how do you explain that rush you had all the way to the tape? Incredible.
You know, I'm a sprinter. Finally got to sprint a little bit. I made it hard on myself, but glad I got it done.
All right, the big question is whether you'll run the 200 or the 400 at the World Championships. I know that Bobby will have the final say. Will you have a word in it? What would you like to do?
We'll have a discussion about it. I'm really open, so we'll see what happens.
I gotta believe the world's waiting to see you before. Thanks, Allison.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations. Tom?
All right, one of our all-time favorites, Allison Felix, the well-spoken